Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to my channel and the Mixed Media Frenzy, where we all take the same sketch or layout and use it as inspiration to create our own. And the one that we're using this week is by none other than Vicki Boutin, and that's her photo right there. I'm pretty sure. I watched enough of her videos, I think it is, and Sonia said it was Vicki Boutin was her favorite, and she's the one who picked her out. Picked the layout out. So it is bright and colorful, but I don't have a link down there for you below to see how she did it. I am using watercolor paper, no gesso, and I sprayed the whole thing down with water just to give myself a head start on having water. I want my colors to flow around the page, but I also want speckles, that you get from the smooshing technique, and also the places where the ink or paint wicks and several different other textures I want on this background. So I'm adding extra water to it, so I'll be sure and do it. I'm using two colors. Um, One is Broken China, the oxide one, Distress Oxide, and the other one's Peacock Feathers, and it's just Distress, and I'm mixing them together on here. I'm using my water brush and dipping it over in that cup every now and then just to give it even more water. And of course, spraying with the water bottle too. If it don't look like it's moving well enough, it's going to get a little bit more water. I wanted the dark places where it does wick, so that's what I'm working on right now. And I am leaving the places it kind of has a speckling and shows quite a bit of the white because I want them to continue to do that. And see where I put that dark right there to the right of the top? Yeah, there. I thought my pictures was going to be down a little lower and that would show. Well, once I put them on here, do everything else that I'm going to do and put them on here, that they're going to be right about there. So that part's not going to show at all. I did all that for nothing. Well, I guess it wasn't for nothing. I guess there was practice in there also. I'm using a stencil that I've had a long time, and I'm not sure who it's by, but it's a script font, and it's about creating and doing art and things like that. And I'm using Close to My Heart ink, and it is Outdoor Denim, so it's a dark blue. It kind of looks black when you look at it sometimes on the video, but it is a dark blue. And this stencil's by Crafter's Workshop. It was still in the package, is how I know. And I'm going to use my modeling paste, and I'm leaving it white, and then I'm going to add to it with some color, but I wanted white to show here and there so it look really aged, like some bricks do, like chunks have gone off of it, and it wasn't that color all the way through because somebody had painted those bricks. And I'm also using the dots stencil. It's a Tim Holtz stencil, and they're tiny dots, and I think it's faded dots is what it is. And I'm adding them in different places on the layout, just to add another texture to it. And I'm thinking, other than some stencils that I bought for like numbers or letters, that was the first one I ever bought. I know I've had it a long time. I'm using fired brick, and it's a Distress Oxide. And I added water to it, and I will add some more water to it. So I didn't want it super dark. So you will see me blotting it just to get some of it off so it won't be as dark. And it'll dry quicker too. I was thinking that too when I was doing it. But that's the only place I put the brick, and it's going to be right below my photo. I went up a little higher than I planned on doing, because once I laid the stencil down, I wasn't thinking about how high I was going to go up. So it went up a little higher, so my photos will be a little higher too. And since that's the only place I had that color, I am just adding it into the places that I had stenciled earlier with the faded dots. And now I'm sprinkling little, well, I think most of them are just little sprinkles. I don't think any of them came out to be big ones. And now I'm using my Illusions white, because, it stays white when it dries. And I'm just sprinkling it around the layout so that there'll be some extra white spots on there. And y'all know I've been doing scrap timber and the 30 days of sketches. And it has a prompt along with the sketch. And here I was working on my layout. And I was farther along than this, and it hit me, oh, I forgot what the prompt was. I better check so I don't forget it on my layout. No more thought of that. I remembered, oh, I was doing mixed media. I didn't need a prompt. But yeah, if I'd had a prompt, it would have gone on here because I'm really enjoying the sketch with the prompt. And I will have one later today. The mixed media one will come out first, and then later in the morning it will be the scrap timber and 30 days of sketches. But down there below that you're going to see today for this video is the mixed media frenzy gals, and you can jump over to their channel and see what they created using Vicki's layout as their inspiration. And it does look like she took white paper. It's probably one of her foundation papers, and maybe did a cut file and then painted it. And I considered doing that, but then I thought, well, I think I'd like the yellow. And I used the Sizzix Wildflowers one. It's one Ella Connor had gave to me, and I love that thing. It is so pretty, especially for the fall. I think it'd go over good, even though it's not really a sunflower. I think it'd go over good on layout as a sunflower. And the leaves came from Diamond Press Tropical Leaves, and I just used the smallest ones. I knew how big my flowers were. There is another one on that die that is much bigger, but I didn't cut it out. So I'm just using the two smaller ones. The ink I'm using on the flowers is mustard seed and, oh, I can't remember what the other one is. It's a fall one though. So yeah, it's a fall one. Yeah, but I can't think what it is. It's an orange color and it is fall. If you need to know, ask below and I will double check. I let this dry, and it did dry pretty quicker than the background part. The modeling paste dried much quicker than that did because I put a lot of water on there and it soaked through, and it felt damp to the touch on the back. And see how flat it is? It makes a huge difference what you're doing with your layout on whether it's going to lay flat or not after you get done. If you pick the right, I think this is my opinion, the right paper, and this is watercolor paper, and it's cold press is what they call it, and I think this is like my third or fourth package on it. But I do have some Vicki Boutin foundation, and I do use it for some things, but I knew I was going to put a lot of water on this one, and I knew the watercolor paper worked. How I can ramble. I'm going to go back to the title. The title is two different fonts, and one is Echo Park, and it's that little tiny one that I can never remember the name of. And the other one is, well, it's Diamond Press, and it's retired. But if anybody wants to know, ask but yeah, it's retired, so I don't really remember it. That clapper there, it's by Big Red. It's red dye, and I went ahead and stamped it out and fussy cut it before I started doing the layout because I wanted to see how well it would stamp with that denim, outdoor denim. Some things it stamps better with, I think. The Distress ink does not stamp as well. It is not made for stamping, and it come out nice and crisp. It just isn't. It's not made for that. But I knew that usually close to my heart does, so I went ahead and stamped it. I inked it a little in the yellow on the white part, and I put letters on there. And it's the Echo Park one, and it says, "Take one, you know how they'll put what takes they are on the clapboard so that they can tell which, take it was. Well, I don't know if they still do it or not, but in the olden days, in the black and white movies, they did. But yeah, I think that's just the cutest die. It's a stamp, just the cutest stamp. And look at me, I'm already on the oh sequence. My mind went blank. I am on the sequence. And this is one I got off Etsy, and it's lemon twist. And it has some butterflies in there. I'm not going to use the butterflies, but I will be using everything else that is in there. And I scattered them around the page and then just started gluing them down. But I didn't say a word about the photos. Here I am right at the end. The photos are of Charlie, and I took her picture one day, and she said, "Here, get my dimples." I've got dimples now. And so I took a picture. It's the same picture one they printed out crazy, and I just decided to use them both. Neither one printed out like they were supposed to. They were way smaller. And I went ahead and cropped the next one, thinking, well, if it's going to be small, I wanted a close up. And yeah, I got it a little bit closer. But then I said, just go ahead and use them on the layout, both of them. And so my title is Making Your Own Dimples, because, that's what she was doing. And then down there on the clapboard, take one. Because, yeah, we didn't do a second take or third take. So it was take one. And yeah, there's the rest of my title. It shows up a lot better in person than it does far away on the video. It shows up like this. And there's the upper corner. And aren't those sequins cute? There's a variety in there. And I pretty much like that. And on the bigger flowers, there's two bigger ones. I used a stencil from Anna Griffin, and it was a border stencil. And so they are dry embossed. And that's it. That's my layout. If you leave a comment down there below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you who already are, thank you so much. And thank you all for watching my video and sticking it out to the end. And because I know there's plenty more out there that you could be watching. And I really, really appreciate it. But I hope y'all have a happy, scrappy week. Take care and stay safe. Bye.